Welcome to English Chat Flow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Chat Flow. I'm Melissa, and I'm really happy you are here with us today.
And I'm Mark. It's great to have you with us again. We always imagine you listening somewhere in the world, maybe at home, on the bus, or walking outside.
Yes, and wherever you are, we hope you feel relaxed and comfortable while listening. Today, we are talking about something that can change the way we experience our daily life.
Our topic is staying positive every day, and we will discuss it in clear and natural English for B1 to B2 learners.
We will not use very difficult language, but we will speak in a natural conversational style so you can improve your listening and speaking.
And remember, you do not need to understand every single word perfectly. Just follow the conversation and enjoy the process.
Before we begin, here is a simple question for you to think about.
What is one thing that usually makes you feel positive?
It could be a person, a place, a hobby, a song, or even a cup of coffee in the morning.
Take a moment and think about it while you listen.
Many people believe that positive people are happy all the time, but that is not really true.
Exactly. Staying positive does not mean you never feel sad, stressed, or frustrated.
It means that when difficult moments come, you try to keep a healthy perspective.
You try to look for solutions instead of staying focused only on problems.
Mark, let me ask you something. Do you think you are naturally a positive person?
That is a good question. I think I am positive most of the time, but I was not always like this.
Really? What changed?
I noticed that my mood often depended on small daily habits. When I slept well, exercised a little, and spent less time complaining, I felt much better.
That is interesting because many people look for one big secret, but sometimes the answer is in simple habits.
Yes. For example, I used to start my day by checking my phone immediately.
Oh, I know that habit very well.
And after reading messages, news, and notifications, my mind already felt busy before breakfast.
So what do you do now?
Now I try to wait at least 15 or 20 minutes before checking my phone.
And what do you do during that time?
I drink water, open the window, and think about one thing I'm grateful for.
That sounds simple but powerful.
It is simple, and that is why it works for me.
I have a similar habit. Every morning, I try to ask myself, what is one good thing I can do today?
Not 10 things, just one?
Exactly. If I think about 10 things, I start feeling overwhelmed.
That is very true. Sometimes positive thinking becomes difficult when our to-do list feels too long.
So, reducing the pressure can actually help us feel more positive.
Melissa, can you give an example of a good thing from your day?
Sure, it might be helping a friend, finishing an important task, or simply taking a short walk outside.
I like that because it makes positivity practical, not just emotional.
Yes, positivity is not only a feeling, it is also a choice and a habit.
Another thing that helps me is paying attention to my language.
What do you mean by that?
I try to notice how I speak about my day. If I keep saying everything is terrible, my mood gets worse.
But if you say something more balanced?
Then my mind reacts differently. For example, instead of this day is a disaster, I might say today is challenging, but I can handle it.
That sounds much calmer and more realistic.
Exactly. Positive thinking does not require us to ignore reality.
We are not pretending that problems do not exist.
We are simply choosing a healthier way to respond to them.
Let's imagine a common situation. You're stuck in traffic and running late.
A situation that many listeners probably know very well.
You have two possible reactions. First, this is the worst day ever.
Or second, I'm late and that's frustrating, but I will use this time to breathe and stay calm.
The traffic is the same, but the experience becomes different.
That's one of the most important ideas in this episode.
Our attitude can change the quality of our day, even when we cannot change the situation itself.
Another thing I have learned is that positive people still have bad days.
Absolutely. Sometimes I feel tired, unmotivated, or disappointed.
Me too. The difference is that I try not to stay in that negative state for too long.
That's a great point. A bad moment doesn't have to become a bad week.
Exactly. And one useful question is, what do I need right now?
Sometimes the answer is rest.
Sometimes it's a conversation with a friend.
Sometimes it's fresh air or a short break from work.
Positive living is not about forcing yourself to smile all day.
It's about taking care of your mind and choosing helpful thoughts whenever possible. I think many English learners can also apply this idea to language learning.
Definitely. Instead of saying, my English is terrible, you can say, my English is improving step by step.
That small change can increase confidence.
And confidence makes it easier to keep practicing.
So while you're listening today, try to notice the words you use when you talk to yourself.
Are they encouraging or are they making your day heavier?
Even one kinder sentence can make a difference.
And over time, many small positive choices can create a more positive life.
So now that we have talked about positive habits and positive language, let's discuss something that affects many people, the people around us.
Yes, because our environment can have a strong influence on our mood and our attitude.
Have you ever spent time with someone who complains constantly?
Oh, yes. After an hour, you sometimes feel tired, even if nothing bad happened to you personally.
Exactly. Negative energy can be contagious.
But the opposite is also true. Spending time with encouraging and optimistic people can lift your mood.
I remember a colleague who always started meetings by asking, "What went well this week?"
That is a simple question, but it changes the focus.
Instead of immediately discussing problems, we first noticed the good things.
And that does not mean ignoring problems. It simply creates a more balanced conversation.
Mark, what kind of people help you stay positive?
I like people who are realistic but hopeful. They do not pretend that everything is perfect, but they believe that improvement is possible.
That is a good description.
I also appreciate people who encourage action instead of only discussing problems.
For example,
If I say, I'm stressed about work, a helpful person might ask, what is one thing you can do today to make it easier?
that question moves you toward a solution.
Exactly.
Another important part of staying positive is gratitude.
Yes, gratitude is one of the simplest and most effective habits.
Some people think gratitude means being thankful only for big things.
But we can also be grateful for small things.
A good meal,
A friendly conversation,
a sunny day.
or finding a parking space quickly.
That can definitely improve my mood.
Sometimes people wait for huge successes before allowing themselves to feel grateful.
But if we notice small positive moments, our days feel richer.
Melissa, do you keep a gratitude journal?
Not every day, but I often write down 3 good things before I go to bed.
And what effect does that have?
It helps me remember that even on difficult days, there were still positive moments.
That is powerful because our minds naturally focus on problems.
Yes, we often remember the one bad event and forget the 10 good ones.
Gratitude helps correct that imbalance.
Let's talk about another challenge, comparing ourselves to other people.
Ah, that is a big one, especially with social media.
We see photos of vacations, promotions, new houses, and exciting experiences.
And then we think everyone else is doing better than me.
But we usually see only the highlights of their lives.
Exactly. We do not see their worries, mistakes, or difficult days.
One thing that helps me is comparing myself with my past self, not with strangers.
That is a healthy approach.
I ask, am I learning? Am I improving? Am I becoming a little stronger or wiser?
Progress is personal.
And everyone moves at a different speed.
This is also true for learning English.
Yes, some learners become fluent quickly, while others need more time.
The important question is not, am I faster than others?
The important question is, am I continuing?
Exactly.
Another way to stay positive is to celebrate small wins.
Many people ignore their progress because it seems too small.
For example, maybe you understood a podcast better than last month.
Or you spoke English for 5 minutes without stopping.
Those are real achievements.
When we notice small wins, we build motivation.
Motivation grows when we recognize our effort.
Melissa, what is a small win you had recently?
I finished a project that I had been postponing for several weeks.
That feels great, doesn't it?
Yes, and I almost ignored it because it was not a huge achievement.
But completing something important deserves recognition. What about you? I recently started exercising regularly again. Only 20 minutes a day, but I have been consistent.
That is an excellent example of a small win.
And consistency often matters more than intensity.
I completely agree.
There's another idea I'd like to share.
Go ahead.
Positive people often protect their mental space.
What do you mean by mental space?
I mean the information, conversations, and activities that enter their mind.
So, if you spend hours reading negative news or arguing online, your mood may suffer.
Exactly.
That does not mean we should ignore the world.
No, but we can choose healthy limits.
Maybe check the news once or twice instead of 20 times.
And spend more time on activities that give energy rather than only taking energy away.
Such as reading, exercising, learning, or talking with supportive people.
Exactly. Before we finish this part of our conversation, let's summarize a few key ideas.
First, choose your company carefully.
Second, practice gratitude for both big and small things.
Third, avoid unhealthy comparisons with other people.
Fourth, celebrate your small wins.
And fifth, protect your mental space by choosing what you give your attention to.
These habits may seem simple,
But when practiced regularly, they can make a big difference in everyday life.
staying positive is not about perfection.
It's about making small choices that support a healthier and more hopeful mindset. So far, we have talked about habits, gratitude, comparisons, and the people around us. Now let's focus on what positivity looks like during difficult times.
Yes, because it is easy to feel positive when everything is going well.
The real challenge comes when plans change, problems appear, or life becomes stressful.
Melissa, can you remember a time when it was difficult to stay positive?
Definitely. A few years ago, I was working on an important project that did not go as I expected.
What happened?
I spent a lot of time preparing, but the result was disappointing.
That must have been frustrating.
It was. At first, I wanted to stop and forget about the whole thing.
So how did you recover?
I gave myself one evening to feel disappointed, and then I asked, what can I learn from this?
That question changes the situation from a failure into a lesson.
Exactly. I realized that some parts of the project worked well and other parts needed improvement.
That is a very healthy way to look at it.
What about you, Mark? Have you had a similar experience?
Yes, I once applied for a job that I really wanted.
And did you get it?
No, I didn't.
That is not the ending I was hoping for.
Me neither. I was very disappointed because I thought I had a good chance.
What did you do after that?
First, I allowed myself to feel disappointed. I think that's important.
Yes, positive thinking does not mean pretending that disappointment doesn't exist.
Exactly. After a few days, I looked at the experience more calmly.
And what did you learn?
I learned that I needed stronger interview skills, and I started practicing them.
So the rejection became useful in the end.
Yes, and a year later, I got a different job that was actually a better fit for me.
That is a great example of why it is dangerous to judge our future too quickly.
Sometimes a closed door leads us to a better opportunity.
Another important part of staying positive is how we talk to ourselves during hard moments.
Yes, if something goes wrong, many people immediately say, "I'm terrible," or "I always fail."
Those statements are usually not true.
A more helpful sentence is, "This did not go well, but I can improve."
Notice the difference. The second sentence leaves room for growth.
And growth is one of the most positive ideas we can have.
Let's share a few practical phrases that listeners can use.
Good idea.
Instead of "I can't do this," try "I'm still learning how to do this."
Instead of everything is going wrong, try some things are difficult right now.
Instead of "I'm not improving," try "My progress may be slower than I expected."
These small changes can make our thoughts more balanced and realistic.
I would also like to talk about rest.
Yes, many people forget that tiredness can look like negativity.
When we are exhausted, small problems feel much bigger.
That is why sleep, breaks, and recovery are so important.
Sometimes the most positive thing you can do is simply rest.
I completely agree.
Before we finish, let's review some useful vocabulary from this episode.
The first word is perspective. Perspective means the way you see a situation.
Example: a positive perspective can help you stay calm during problems.
The next word is grateful. Grateful means thankful.
Example: I'm grateful for the support of my friends.
Another useful word is consistent.
Consistent means doing something regularly over time.
Example: she is consistent with her English practice.
We also used the word overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed means feeling that there is too much to handle.
Example: I felt overwhelmed by my long to-do list.
Another important word is motivation.
Motivation is the desire or energy to do something.
Example: celebrating small wins can increase motivation.
And finally, growth.
Growth means improvement and development over time.
Example: mistakes can become opportunities for growth.
If you want to practice, choose two of these words and create your own sentences.
That is an excellent way to remember new vocabulary.
Before we say goodbye, let's return to the question we asked at the beginning.
What is one thing that makes you feel positive?
And maybe ask yourself another question.
What is one small positive action you can take today?
It could be a short walk, a kind message, a few minutes of English practice, or simply taking a deep breath.
Small actions may seem unimportant, but they can change the direction of a day.
And many good days together can create a better life.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
We hope this conversation helps you stay positive in a realistic and healthy way.
Remember, positivity is not about being perfect.
It is about choosing hope, learning from challenges, and taking one small step forward each day.
Keep practicing your English and keep taking care of yourself.
See you in the next episode of English Chat Flow.